Isaac's story begins with a miracle. Born to Abraham and Sarah in their old age, Abraham was 100 years old, and Sarah was 90. Isaac's arrival fulfilled God's promise that Sarah would bear a son, even though it seemed impossible. His name, meaning laughter, reflected the joy and amazement that both his parents and those around them felt upon his birth. Isaac's very existence was a reminder of God's faithfulness and his ability to do the impossible. Isaac's childhood was marked by tension with his half-brother, Ishmael, who was born to Hagar, Sarah's maidservant. Although Ishmael was Abraham's son, Isaac was the child of the promise. When Isaac was still young, Sarah saw Ishmael mocking him during a family gathering. This led Sarah to demand that Abraham send Hagar and Ishmael away, concerned for Isaac's inheritance and future. Though troubled, Abraham obeyed after God reassured him that Isaac would be the one through whom his covenant would be fulfilled, and that he would also take care of Ishmael, making him a great nation as well. Isaac's life took a dramatic turn when God tested Abraham by commanding him to sacrifice his son on Mount Moriah. Although the full details of this event were covered in the previous episode, it's important to reflect on how this experience shaped Isaac's view of God and faith. Isaac, who obediently followed his father, saw firsthand the deep trust Abraham had in God, even in such a dire situation. The substitution of the ram for Isaac foreshadowed God's ultimate provision, but it also left a lasting impression on Isaac's faith, teaching him that God would always provide, even in the most difficult of circumstances. God spoke to Isaac directly on two notable occasions. The first was in Gerar during a time of famine, where God appeared to Isaac and reaffirmed the covenant he had made with Abraham. God promised to bless Isaac, multiply his descendants, and give them the land he had promised. This encounter reassured Isaac that the same covenant God had with his father was now being carried forward through him. Later, after moving to Beersheba, God again appeared to Isaac and reaffirmed his promise, saying, "I am the God of Abraham your father. Fear not, for I am with you, and will bless you, and multiply your offspring for my servant Abraham's sake." These encounters solidified Isaac's role in God's unfolding plan, and confirmed his divine protection and blessing. Like his father Abraham, Isaac had an interaction with King Abimelech of Gerar. Many scholars believe that the Abimelech who encountered Isaac was either the son or successor of the Abimelech who dealt with Abraham. In a moment of fear, Isaac repeated the same mistake his father had made. He lied about his wife, Rebekah, claiming she was his sister out of fear that the men of the land would kill him to take her. This deception was discovered when Abimelech saw Isaac and Rebekah acting affectionately toward each other. Confronting Isaac, Abimelech rebuked him for the lie, pointing out that someone might have taken Rebekah, bringing guilt upon the land. Despite Isaac's deception, Abimelech commanded that no one harm Isaac or Rebekah, recognizing that Isaac was blessed by God, just as his father had been. Applications. Trust in God's promises. Isaac's miraculous birth and the fulfillment of God's promise to Abraham and Sarah remind us to trust in God's faithfulness, even when circumstances seem impossible. Navigating family challenges. The tension between Isaac and Ishmael shows that family dynamics can be complex, but God's plans prevail despite human conflict. It teaches us to seek God's guidance when facing difficult relationships. Learning from past generations. Isaac repeated the same mistake his father Abraham made with Abimelech, indicating that we must learn from the experiences of those before us to avoid repeating their errors. God's provision in difficult times. Isaac's experience on Mount Moriah demonstrates that God provides in times of trial. We are encouraged to place our faith in God's provision and trust that He will deliver us from difficult situations. Facing fear with integrity. Isaac's fear-driven deception reminds us that fear can lead to poor decisions. However, God's protection of Isaac and Rebekah underscores that integrity and trust in God are essential, even when we feel vulnerable.